Sup, ladies and gentlemen, Akalon here, and welcome back to each and one of you. And of course, if you are new to the channel, thank you so much for joining us. I am very happy to have you here. Of course, in today's video, we are examining Domination magic. What it is, it's a brand new magic that we only just recently learnt about. Previously, we all thought, necromancy is probably the kind of magic that they use within the Shadowlands, because that's sort of the only interactions we've ever had with the Shadowlands and with creatures and denizens of the Shadowlands. We thought maybe some kind of death magic could also be involved, maybe a different variation of necromancy, but then of course at BlizzCon, Steve Denuser confirmed that the way in which they locked up the jailer was through domination magic, and that the magic that the jailer was using to control Anduin was domination magic. So we're taking a look at domination magic, sort of diving into it and trying to figure out what exactly it is. Now remember, you can join these conversations live every Tuesday to Friday over on Twitch, or every Sunday right here on YouTube with the Sunday Night Shill Show. Remember to slap a like on this video, just give it a little spanky spank. It is free of charge, it does help out the channel an absolute ton. And then whenever in this video you come up with ideas, or maybe you find that I'm wrong about something or I missed something, I love to read your comments in the comment section down below, giving me a little bit more insight and allowing all of us to really contribute to this conversation, because that really is what these videos are all about. But before we get into any of that, allow me to thank the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Now, if you're anything like me, then you have a lot of interest, you have a lot of hobbies, you have a lot of things that you care about, but not enough to actually go to university to get a degree in that specific thing. For me personally, Skillshare has changed my life. Anything I want to know, anything I want to learn, specifically pertaining to YouTube and social media, I can find there. The classes is optimized to help you learn, to help you on an individual level. It doesn't just give you generalized rules, it gives you the tools you need to really apply it to your personal situation. In my opinion, Skillshare is something that everyone should partake in, everyone should be a part of. If you're someone that really cares about something, you have an interest or a hobby that you want to dive deeper into, Skillshare is the place for you. With millions of users around the world learning every single day, bettering themselves, maybe this can help you get that promotion that you've wanted for so long, but you just didn't have the knowledge to get there. Or perhaps it can just help you in your personal life. Skillshare really is optimized to help you learn. And if you want to try it out with no strings attached, the link in the description down below, first 1,000 people to click it will get a free premium membership trial to try it out and see if it can actually work for you. For less than $10 a month, you will continue learning, continue bettering yourself, and you know what's better? The people who isn't clicking that link, they're staying behind, while you are joining the learning evolution. In an age where technology and information is the future, can you really afford to miss out? Join Skillshare today by clicking the link in the description down below. And as always, let's jump into the video. So I don't think any one of us can deny that domination magic is a rather new thing. It's newly introduced, right? Prior to BlizzCon and the interviews that they did at BlizzCon, we've never even heard of domination magic even existing, right? It has answered a hell of a lot of questions, though, in terms of what domination magic might be and how it might be used, and just the immense amount of power that comes with domination magic. So I'm just going to show you guys what we looked at last night again, because it does actually answer a whole lot of questions. So if we go back to Sylvanas versus Saurfang, right? Very quickly wanted to point this out, and we are going to watch the whole of it because it's funny and fun. Let's go back to the beginning of this because I want to watch this. Okay, so remember what happened here. Remember what happened exactly after this, right? So directly after the cinematic, we had Lorthamar, we had Jaina, and we had Thalyssra. And all three of them were claiming that they did not know what this magic was. Jaina was still asking how long she could have had this magic. Lorthamar was saying that he never felt this magic on her. And if she has this magic, then it must be rather new, because they never felt it before. In all the times that he's dealt with her, this magic did not radiate from her. None of them felt it. It was gone as soon as it was used, and it legitimately had a signature unlike anything that they've experienced ever before. We couldn't answer at the time, what is this? What is this magic? I remember when this cinematic first came out, we were watching the cinematic over and over and over again, trying to figure out what this magic could be, trying to answer the question, sort of saying, hey, you know what? What we think it is sort of a death magic. And while domination magic being death magic is one of the easiest explanations, I think I have a different explanation, but I want to watch the cinematic. I hope you guys don't mind that we're going to watch the cinematic again, even though we have watched it yesterday. But I love World of Warcraft cinematic, so here we go.
Let it be finished.
The High Overlord falls. I trusted you. And so did they. Death.
I just want to say, has there ever been a more useless person than modern day Thrall? The fucking asshole is useless. Right now, we saved him in Torghast, and what is he doing? He's just sitting on the fucking steps doing absolutely nothing. Here, he's watching Saurfang die. Obviously, you know, he is honoring the Mak'gora, but at the same time, he could have been the one to challenge for Mak'gora, right? He probably would have had a better chance of doing it as well, because he is younger than Saurfang, and he could potentially have rediscovered his powers if he wanted to. The guy's just fucking useless. It's time for Thrall to go.
Comes, old soldier. And all their hope dies with you.
You cannot kill hope. You tried at Teldrassil. You failed. Hope remains. You set us to kill each other at Lordaeron. You failed. Here we stand. You just keep failing. The Horde will endure. The Horde is strong.
The Horde is nothing!
It's one of my favorite moments.
You are all nothing!
Alright, so that magic, right? That magic is what we spent months and months and months on trying to figure out, and as it turns out, I believe this is domination magic. It's one of the reasons why Jaina and Lorthamar and Thalyssra they didn't know what it was. It had no signature that they could draw from. It legitimately felt like nothing. Now, what is even more interesting about this is why I don't believe that domination magic is in fact death magic. And that comes from Arthas. Arthas used death magic. Death magic is nothing other than necromancy. It is the magic fueled by death. Arthas used it all the time. Jaina even argues that she senses it in the maw. She senses that magic coming from the runes within the maw. She senses necromancy. She senses something very similar to that of Arthas. However, she didn't sense this. This magic that Sylvanas uses here, Jaina sensed nothing. It felt like nothing she's ever felt before, and based on how they described it, based on their conversation with one another, it felt as if it dissipated as quickly as it came. So literally, Sylvanas channeled it, destroyed Saurfang, and then it was gone. It left no lingering presence, no lingering essence. It was just gone. Again, that is not necromancy. Necromancy tends to hang around. It tends to be everywhere. I believe it was in Warcraft 3 actually that we got to. I can't remember where it was, but Arthas and his undead just went through it, and someone said they can still sense sense the power that was here before. So necromancy clearly has this lingering effect. We know that necromancy leaves dead, the walking dead in its wake rather, but domination magic seems to dissipate and sort of enter our world almost at the same speed. So there's something very unique about domination magic. And of course, we have now learnt that domination magic is the very thing that the Eternal Ones used to lock up the jailer. It is the very thing that the jailer is using on Anduin, right? This is domination magic. So the question becomes, what is domination magic? Now for this, my answer actually comes from, I guess you could say, an unlikely source. So if we go to this cinematic.
You, pathetic, a puppet dancing on strings.
I will not break. I will not break. I will not.
Fool, your mind is already broken. But even a broken thing can be made to serve. Countless secrets extracted. Insidious designs forged into weapons for my armies. But I require more. Your grandest desire to claim the final prize. The secret that the first one sought to hide.
Alright, so I mean, again, we can argue about this, and we have done that with the last show that we had on YouTube. We can argue about this, right? What is he talking about? To claim the final prize, his grandest design, the secret that the first one sought to hide. Is he talking about the Helm of Domination? Is he talking about something else? Is the Helm of Domination the very thing that will enable him to claim his final prize? In my opinion, it is the second one. It is that that Frostmourne and the Helm of Domination weren't the secrets of the first ones, but that they would enable him to get the secrets of the first ones. That's not what I want to show you here. That's just an interesting sort of byproduct for anyone that's watching this and going, I wonder what he's talking about. We still haven't addressed that. It seems like Zuval, it seems like the jailer is very much obsessed with the first ones. It appears as if everything that he's doing is either to destroy the first ones or to use them. Now, I've made multiple videos saying that I think the first ones are gone. Either they've been defeated or they left on their own accord, but it doesn't appear as if you've listened to how the brokers and the denizens of Erebos speak about the first ones. It appears as if they're speaking in past tense. They're speaking about a race of being that were once something, but they're not necessarily something anymore. But this specific cinematic really got me thinking about domination magic. Now, we see domination magic a couple of times, especially if we believe that the runes is tied to domination magic. Now, according to the interviews that we've seen, the runes definitely have a play with domination magic. the runes seem to be the thing that sort of extends domination magic. So if you place runes on something, you can use those runes to increase the power that you have. So you know, the jailer is using those runes on Anduin and on his armor, and those runes enable him to dominate Anduin's mind and sort of push him down. So those runes definitely is tied to domination magic. But we see these runes everywhere. There are runes like this on the Titan armors, on the weapons that the Titans themselves make. There's runes like this on void weapons. I believe Xalatath has not similar runes, but runes nonetheless on the blade. So then I got to asking myself, but what if these runes is in fact something from the first ones? And that got answered as well. I believe it was during BlizzCon, but it could have been prior to BlizzCon. But we did get some kind of answer that the runes is a magical language from the first ones. It's a very old magical language, one that really isn't used anymore outside of seemingly Zuval and the other Eternal Ones. So we could then make the argument that the runes, if the runes are from the first ones, then domination magic is their magic. Does that mean that their magic may have some downsides to them? You see, this is where I sort of started to think about, we don't see the Eternal Ones using domination magic readily. If you look at when Anduin jumped at Carestia, for example, she could have used domination magic, maybe to survive a little bit longer. She seemingly decided to defend herself the old-fashioned way by failing, as, you know, the plot required. We've not really seen the Eternal Ones using domination magic at all, outside of this dude, whose feet we're watching right now. Zuval seems to use domination magic all the time. So I put this to you, and this is speculation, by the way. This is off the charts kind of speculation, but I put this to you. What if domination magic is in fact a magic that comes from the first ones? It's not a magic that belongs to a single cosmological force. In other words, domination magic doesn't belong to the cosmological force of death. It doesn't belong to the cosmological force of light. Instead, it is higher than those cosmological magics. So let's imagine for a second that the first ones uses this form of domination magic. They use it to first establish order in the universe. They use it to dominate the lesser races, to sort of fall in line so that order may be established within this universe. They teach some of these beings, some of these creations of theirs, how to use domination magic in the instance that it is actually necessary, right? So sort of a press the emergency button, press in case of emergency. You can use this domination magic, but it has a cost. Now, there is no evidence in the game for it having a cost. There is no reason to believe that it would have a cost, but it would explain what happened to Zuval. It would explain what happened to Zuval without us coming up with even more crazy theories to explain what happened to Zuval. Here you have an Eternal One that recognized and realized that he, at his fingertips, has one of the most powerful magics in existence. And with this magic, he can get basically anyone to do whatever the fuck he wants, because he simply dominates them into submission. The problem is, every single time he uses it, it takes a piece of him. It takes a piece of his soul. The hole in his chest, we've argued to hell and back about what is in the hole in his chest. Where is the thing that was inside the hole in his chest? What if it's not where? What if it's gone? What if because of his use, his misuse of domination magic, he burnt it all up? Now, before you go, but Akalon, what are you even talking about? Yes, this idea actually comes from a movie called The Covenant, right? Which, again, we spoke about yesterday, where magic has a price. There's a cost tied to magic. Every single time you do magic, it steals a part of your soul. I'm not saying Blizzard did borrow that idea from The Covenant. I'm just saying it's possible. And it explains further down the line things that we don't have explanations for right now. Like, for example, why is the jailer's chest empty? For example, why is the jailer referred to as a monster? Well, he couldn't have started out as a monster, right? He was their brother. The Primus refers to him still as brother. The others refer to him as monster. So clearly he didn't start off as a monster. He became this thing that they had to banish to the Maw just to stop him from destroying the Shadowlands. So what if domination magic, the price, is what made Zuvul what he is today? This incessant need to dominate the universe. And this ties into another theory that I have that I'll maybe share a little bit later, or tomorrow, depending on when I get to actually do it. But I do have a theory about the universe and the cosmological forces and how everything isn't exactly as we might think, if that makes sense. Everything, at least if you play through Ardenweald, if you've had the opportunity to play through Ardenweald, it becomes very clear very quickly that the Shadowlands may not in fact be the realm of death. And when I say death, I do mean death with a capital D. In other words, the Shadowlands may not be the realm of the cosmological forces of death. I'd love to hear what you guys think, though. Everyone in chat, I would love to get your thoughts on this theory. Do you believe domination magic is just simply, you know, dude, it's just death magic, what the fuck are you talking about? Or do you think I could be onto something here? Do you think there could be truth to this? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Arkiel, that is a very interesting thought. Because we know that Zuvul doesn't use anima for the Maw, right? He seemingly doesn't require the Maw to function in any sort of livable way. But we do know that he turns souls into weapons. So what if you're right? What if he found a way to use domination magic without actually incurring the cost of using it that way by just burning up other souls? So he uses souls in order to fuel his domination magic. This might also tie into why he said every soul has a purpose. Because yes, souls do have a purpose to him. It's to fuel his magic. It would sort of make domination magic very close to foul magic in that regard. Because foul magic uses life to fuel itself.